Everyone knows that spring break is something of a relief to students of all ages, a time of rest, recuperation, and relaxation. However, this week it also includes the dreaded Friday 13th, a day of fear, horror, and superstition. So we figured that some people would be bored on spring break, especially with the recent coronavirus. Most people will be bored indoors. So with that, we decided to show you 13 different horror games that help pass the time. If you want to jump to a specific title because it interests you, the times of each game will be highlighted below. With that out of the way, let us begin with the most fearsome of all activities, taxes. Taxes are a frightening thing because of how simple yet complicated they are. All those papers you are swiping left into the important pile, actual tax paperwork, or a scam? Are the free money adverts you are throwing into the trash actual free money that you are wasting? What if that Nigerian prince actually is a Nigerian prince that has loads of money? What is Obama's last name? Do you get a lower payout if you draw a penis where you're supposed to be signing your paperwork? All these questions will perplex and haunt you throughout your playthrough of this game. Like using TurboTax, this game is quick, easy to master, and rewarding to complete. So this is just one of those games I heavily recommend playing on spring break. It's a great game. Just remember to take your medication. Another daily activity that is horrifying is fishing. You cannot see what lurks beneath you, the hunger always clawing at your stomach, the beasties you have to fight to sate your starving self. The most horrifying aspect, however, is determining how long it takes to fish. You may have to wait for many hours to catch a fish, or maybe you only have to wait a few seconds. But remember, just because the fish may hop on your line immediately, it may not be what you want to catch. Have fun fishing! Now we're going to talk about a game that you shouldn't play. We're going to talk about Tikyo Loves You. Now on the surface, this looks like someone's first game. Long repeating offices, an almost never-ending hallway with notes that are voice recorded with not top-of-the-line microphone. Walls that are shinier than the tile floors, and the only jump scare being more effective in blasting out my eardrums and scaring me. But if you decide to play this, don't worry. You'll have to walk an entire 3 kilometers to get to that point. The most damning thing about this game is that it can be so good. If the repeating office was more structured in a similar sense to PT, repeating room but not slight changes each time you went in, the game could have been so much better. Also, for the monster, the big scary monster, to not be a mechanical scorpion that blasts out your eardrums. And now the thing is, the creator of Tikyo Loves You also made a different game that we're going to be covering, Go Home. Now as opposed to Tikyo Loves You, Go Home is more of a game than the Lube Office Tour. Go Home is a game where you play as a small Japanese girl trying to go home. But the game is one of those games. One of those games where it'll kill you if you don't do X. You can't cross the street when the light is red, or a car will come out and run you over. Can't go all the way up the stairs, or an angry ghost will come and kill you. Can't go right to your apartment complex, or guess what? You die! The reason why it's on this list, because it's actually scary to be chasing away. As soon as the ghost in the second level has direct line of sight on you, she speeds over to give you game over, forcing you to teleport randomly around the town with the power of magical manhole covers. While this is one of the games I can't recommend fully trying, it is definitely an experience. As a palate cleanser, let's talk about the bond between a man and his dog. Nothing is stronger than the bond between a man and his dog, especially a man and a very small Pomeranian. Play the game The Pomeranian to watch the bond between a man and his dog. But beware, a hungry dog is an unpredictable, dangerous dog. But then again, what can be dangerous about this adorable dog named Fluffy? Look at him, he's so cute and tiny. I have no idea what's happening here. Insomnio is a game about dreams. While it doesn't make sense if you think about it logically, you will need to play it all and then think about how it ties together to determine what the meaning is. Probably going through with a second or third playthrough. That being said, it is very atmospheric and barely relies on jump scares like most free titles do. Can you piece it all together in this hazy dream world? Or will you be dumbfounded by the story presented? Speaking of jump scares making you sweat with anticipation, it's important to hydrate your sweaty self to replenish that water spent. But you know what's a great drink for horror games that truly replenishes your dehydrated, malnourished self? Dr. Pepper. Want to segue to our next game, Dr. Pepper Terror. The premise is this: you're a kid who has been sent to his grandfather's house. Having drunk the 139 cans of Dr. Pepper in his yard, your grandfather asks you to go get him some more Dr. Pepper in the shed. But it must be ice cold. You soon realize, however, that you won't be getting that Dr. Pepper that easily. If you haven't been able to tell from the footage, this game is inspired by the likes of PT. It has its own strange sense of wonder. You ponder what spooky event will jump out at you the next time you enter the shed. Might be Grandpa checking up on you, or a funky spawn trigger forcing you to get caught inside what looks to be a sentient kidney bean. Just try to get that ice cold soda for your Gramps. He deserves it for spending all that time in the war. Now, as we're covering mostly food games today, some of them can obviously vary in quality. Some of these games can look a lot worse than others, sometimes deliberately, sometimes not. One game that I truly believe works in its current graphical state is a browser game called Lake Monster. It's about a lake monster and immense suspense. Will you decide why your uncle came to this accursed lake, or will you fall prey to his same fate? Whatever you do, stay away from the water, and be careful out there. Now one thing a student likes, especially a college student, is ramen noodles. They're cheap and filling, just the thing that will fit into the budget with student loan payments. Ramen powers them, allowing them to live and study on a shoestring budget. But what if that ramen itself was alive? What if it was hungry? Welcome to Tasty Ramen. While this game is the tamest game that will appear on this list, it's a cute little adventure that is part of the Haunted demo disc, which is very good altogether, but we needed something cute on this list. Outwit this little bowl of sodium while trying to get all 8 keys, and if you fail to do that, in an ironic twist of fate, you will be torn apart by the pool noodles. Speaking of food, have you ever worked in any type of grocery store that had to deal with that customer? You know, the one that demands instant answers about the location of product without even bothering to check where it is themselves. The type that, if you don't find their type of fizzy soda, will call a manager. That one customer who loses their baby and expects you, the poor soul trying to do their job, to deal with it. Have you ever had a manager that seemed like they could kill a man? If so, then this game will terrify you. The Night of the Consumers is a game about a poor, newly hired worker trying to do their job while being harassed by insane customers. Now, as I played this the day it was released, there's a few odd things that I saw and hopefully will be patched. Like how if a customer catches you 2 times in a row, they will change their mind on what they want and basically force you to lose that. Or how customers are technically there before you start the day and you can hit them with a box for funny little shits, however it activates them and forces you to lose if you, for say, accidentally hit the mom since you can't find the invisible baby. Or the silly bug where if you throw a box on some toilet paper, you can't touch it. Out of all the games on the list, however, this is the one where you have to pay money. But don't worry, it's worth it, and it's not very much. I got an hour out of it in its current state, and it is basically because holy shit, it's hard. You have to stock 10 boxes while avoiding customers, and oh boy, it's difficult at times. Take too long to find a customer's aisle, and they will call the manager, which is a game over. Take too long to stock the items, and game over. On top of that, each time you get caught by a customer, you need to find the right area quicker and quicker, quickly giving you no leeway to the time that you have, and if you fail to get it, game over. On top of that, something's not right. I can't put my finger on it, but the developer has stated that additions are coming to the game to expand on the secrets you find. It's currently going for $1.93 on itch.io, and it was well worth the money. I don't know what's happening here either. Cardiac is less of a game and more of a story. I don't want to show any more footage since I want everyone to play this game no matter what. I mean, while the game has you playing as a heart navigating with the power of fleshy tendrils, it's just so good and unnerving. Perfect for sheer terror. Now for something a little less surreal and more disappointing. SSTR, which stands for Shitty Sister Tries Regicide, is currently an escape room game that makes my GPU cry. Now, while a GTX 1070 is dated to some, I can run and record Apex Legends to the highest settings with some clever messing with the video. I can't do that with SSTR. So the footage I have is worse because a small room has the same GPU requirements as the 4 km squared map. Well, I thought to myself, I'm sure I can just change the graphical settings in game with the launcher. No, you can't. Oh, don't worry, my gripes only end in the hardware. The game is currently 5 experiences, 4 which are escape rooms and 1 a wave-based turret hallway. These 4 escape rooms are solved by looking at walls and computers and trying to find out which 4-digit code escapes the room. The only issue is that the only way you're going to legitimately figure out these codes is by taking copious amount of drugs and figuring out which bullshit on the wall is the solution. You think to yourself, these walls are mostly covered in blood, but list out 4 different numbers. Surely it is these 4 numbers that are the code. Partially correct, actually. Only one of the numbers is the right one. Don't worry, you can just enter in all the numbers one by one randomly, since if you enter in one of the 4 numbers correctly, it stays that way. So puzzles aside, I did heavily enjoy the setting game I played. I always enjoy a horror-filled space setting, so this game did satisfy me in that regards. A rogue AI, demented characters seeing things, and heavily strange machinery can be found in this game. And while this game is currently 5 different section off experiences, I would hope that it turns into a full-fledged exploration game. But right now it's a graphics intensive escape room with next to point and click adventure game reasoning. Now, as we near the end of the video, we must head home. Sadly, you had to go on the last train home. This short pixel art game deserves multiple playthroughs to fully understand and experience the story laid out in front of you, similar to Insomnio, but it's more grounded. Sadly, the story is the only reason to play the game, as you just walk back and forth talking to the other passengers on the last train home. When the horror finally starts setting in, the game disappointingly, abruptly ends. While I would love to recommend playing all of these games, I can't recommend some over others. I did have fun with most of them, but then again my ears were blasted off 3 separate times, since some of the games don't have audio settings and never will. But all of these games will satisfy anyone looking for something to play on Friday 13th or in the recent quarantine. Most games are free, since the most horrifying thing I experienced in this video was looking at my bank account and realizing I blew most of my money paying money to a Twitch streamer that unexpectedly never touched my penis. At least she called me a creepy high Kermit the Frog, giving me the recognition I truly deserve. All the games will be linked below, and if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video. We like to share indie games that deserve recognition, no matter how much they have received. Next video will be more opposite in tone, except for one teeny tiny little bit.